What's up guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be talking about new evidence pointing to a possible Switch Pro or a new powerful handheld, and of course shout outs first of all to Noah Sanchez, who again sent me this information. It is based on real information that Nintendo is looking for on their job postings on their careers.nintendo.com website. So this is all based on real information, and it's very telling information as well. Some very interesting things that really need to be brought out and discussed. And this yet again is a no-doubter. This definitely is pointing to a brand new system. And this also appears to be a console that Nintendo is porting current applications to. This looks like it could be the rumored Nintendo Switch Pro or some type of powerful handheld, an upgraded version of what is currently on the market right now. So let's first of all look at another senior software engineer position that Nintendo is looking for, and this one is involving a bunch of different things. They are looking for someone who is going to be designing and developing device drivers for I/O subsystems on modern system on chips, learning and understanding complex clock, power, and reset trees of modern system on chips, SOCs. Then take a look at this right here, writing USB, PCIe, and other device drivers. PCIe, guys, PCIe. Basically that is PCI Express, and what that is a high-speed serial computer expansion bus that you can connect other things to your computer. This includes graphics cards, capture cards, audio cards. All these different types of cards can be connected in this high-speed serial bus on your PC. Everyone has these on their PC. So they are requiring this as part of the job duty for them to create device drivers for PCI Express for this new Nintendo console. So the first thing that comes to mind would be possibly a graphics GPU expansion for this new console in order for it to have a longer life. Or another thing it could be is that Nintendo is creating an MCM for this console where it has the CPU and GPU connected together on a PCI Express connection close together on the console, and they would have to create drivers for that to function as well. So it could be either thing, but of course you know that Nintendo likes putting expansion slots on their consoles. So a PCI Express slot to connect another GPU, perhaps an external GPU, could be something that they could use to prolong the life of their next console to keep up with the competition. That could be one strong possibility, since adding different audio cards and capture cards and things like that to the PCI Express slot doesn't really make sense, but more processing power does make sense. So that could be something they're using this for, but this is definitely brand new and something they're using for a new console. And then it goes on to say in the summary of requirements that they need a strong background in data structures and algorithms, C++ again. They said they need experience developing multi-threaded software, experience developing low-level device drivers. So yet again, this sounds like a newer console with newer architecture, because the current Nintendo Switch already has low-level drivers and already has low-level APIs with the NVN API. So yet again, this looks like it's something new, and it says multi-threaded software. Now, you may not know this, but the Nintendo Switch uses the Tegra X1 processor, which uses the Cortex A57 CPU that is not a multi-threaded CPU. It is actually a symmetrical multiprocessing unit, which is a 4-core processor acting symmetrically. It is not a multi-threaded CPU. It doesn't have hyper-threading or multi-threading. It wasn't designed to function in that way. And the difference between multi-threading and multiprocessing is this. Multiprocessing adds CPUs to increase computing power, so basically 4 cores acting individually together to complete a process. Multi-threading creates multiple threads of a single process to increase computing power. And how multiprocessing is used is multiple processes are executed concurrently, and then with multi-threading, multiple threads of a single process are executed concurrently. Creation of a process is time-consuming and resource-intensive for multiprocessing, whereas in multi-threading, creation of a thread is economical in both sense time and resource. So multi-threading basically can use one core to do multiple different things, whereas multiprocessing uses each core to do one thing and they all work together. So multi-threading is the modern way of doing things, and it looks like from this job description Nintendo is asking for multi-threaded applications and multi-threaded software to be a requirement for them to use to work on this console. So if this SOC that they're using for this new console, we'll just call it the Switch Pro for now, if it does have multi-threading in its CPU, then this would not be based on the Tegra X1 and not necessarily the X2 either, or Parker chip. It could be based on it, but what I'm saying here is that if it does have multi-threading, then it will very much be a customized chip, because even the Parker chip does not support multi-threading. Still, those A57 Cortex CPUs along with the Denver CPUs, which also focuses on single-threaded applications. So I'm not saying it's a fact or anything that the CPU they're using is multi-threaded, but it does make sense if the rumored Switch Pro is going to get future third-party support, and running of open-world games require large chunks of data to be processed through the CPU to the GPU, and this would make perfect sense if it was multi-threaded, because then they could get away with using a quad-core custom chip in there and have it act like 8 cores with multi-threading basically. And that, combined with the increase no doubt in clock speed, memory bandwidth, and more memory, this could enable this new powerful handheld, or Switch Pro, whatever you want to call it, to be able to run open world games a lot easier than the current Nintendo Switch could, due to it able to handle those large chunks of data far easier than what it currently could right now. And even some developers have said that about the Nintendo Switch, that the Switch really wasn't designed to handle that much memory to go through it for these large games like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example. The Switch really wasn't designed to handle that type of memory load to go through it. And looking at how the CPU is designed, that seems to be correct from what I'm seeing here. So let's look at this next job description as well. And this is for a contractor for an audio software engineer. A contract position is usually a short-term affair, so it looks like they are doing something for a specific purpose here, and we'll take a look at what that is. It's saying here that they want them to design, develop, and debug audio subsystem software for game consoles, implement or prototype audio processing algorithms, or port to different platforms. Okay, so if they're implementing audio processing algorithms that enables them to port to different platforms, this seems to me that Nintendo is wanting them to create an algorithm that would enable them to port current audio libraries to a new console, this new Nintendo Switch or new powerful handheld that we're talking about. Of course, all rumored right now. Pretty crazy, right? And then you look at the summary of requirements. They need a solid understanding of digital audio processing basics, solid understanding of multi-core SOC device, and low-level kernel software. So yet again, another system on chip, multi-core SOC. And here we have them say yet again, having experience writing and debugging multi-process and multi-threaded applications. If you're going to use multi-threaded applications, you're going to need to have a multi-threaded capable processor on your console to do that. That just makes perfect sense, especially if this is brand new. It would make more sense for Nintendo to use a multi-threaded CPU to get these applications done. It is the modern way of doing things, no less, and of course, like we said, would help them to get third-party games that this rumor system would get. Now check this out. Part of the requirements are to have knowledge of digital audio effects and spatial audio. Audio codec or voice/speech related technology is a plus, but look at that, spatial audio is one of the requirements for them to have experience and knowledge in. It also says they need to have experience developing real-time audio software. So wow, that is really cool, because spatial audio is being used in things like virtual reality and just in gaming in general, and the Xbox One X does have the capability of spatial audio. That is basically very realistic 3D type of audio that you can hear the different levels of distance behind you, in front of you, and to the left and to the right. It's extremely high quality, in-depth, 3D type of audio that these new consoles are using. So Nintendo wants to use this in their next console. So this is very exciting and would further immerse you into the experience. And it would open up the door, and obviously since it is also used in virtual reality, that could open up the door to that type of possibility as well. We'll have to wait and see about that though. There you have it, guys. More information here on a new Nintendo powerful handheld or a Switch Pro, or whatever you want to call it. It's all right here for you guys to take a look at. It's very interesting. And I was on that podcast with Rich from Review Tech USA, and we talked about all this in detail. He has heard rumors of a Switch Pro. Obviously the information's going around, and this does make perfect sense. You may soon or eventually start hearing the bigger websites start talking about this system, because it is being talked about behind the scenes. People are are definitely hearing something rumbling with Nintendo as far as them making new hardware coming in the not too distant future, possibly as soon as 2019, guys. So I wouldn't just pass this information off as being something that's way far way in the future. I think this is coming in the not too distant future as soon as next year. So keep your eyes peeled, and like I keep saying, as soon as we get more information, I'm going to talk about it right here. We'll go over it just like how we did today. Alright guys, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.